We're back. Let's mix the paints differently this time and see what we get. Okay, this is the second dirty pour I'm going to do. This is the one on the piece that is too pretty to paint, according to some people. And I'm going to make some changes and we'll see how it turns out. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to add a WD-40 shot to my cup that I'm blending in. And that, I think, will give us a few more interesting cells. Okay, and I'm also going to start with a dark color. And we're just going to drizzle it all in the same way. As I said, these ones in the paper cups have the addition of either WD-40, a few, like a spray of it, or glycerin. The white is just a premix. Actually, all the other paints are just a premix of acrylic paint with my special blend of Floetrol and glue as a binder to thin them out. I use pretty thin paints to begin with because I buy cheap paint. I buy it at AC Moore when it goes on sale. I love it when I see a yard sale where someone's thought that they were going to be the next Picasso and decides to sell all of the paint that they bought for not a lot of money. I was really lucky. There was a paint store going out of business in Lancaster where the Mid-Atlantic Wood Turning Symposium was. And I had the benefit of being able to buy a bunch of stuff from them. These metallics were from them. And I use them for another project. And then anytime something gets about a third down, I add that premix to it so that it's ready for the next pour. So we're going to try and do this one a little more dark and see how it comes out. But basically the same technique. I think I have plenty of paint there. I'm going to take a popsicle stick and I'm going to go to the left and through it a couple of different ways just to give it a little bit of a blending. By far the trickiest part is blending all your paint colors and your paint. It took me about an hour to tape a piece and blend all the colors, a little longer because I did 2 pieces today. And you can see I made sure that this was really well covered with tape so that I don't have anything leak through, because it's a drag to have it be all ready and then have to spend time sanding and cleaning something up. Of course, if it did need to be cleaned up, acetone would be the best way to get the acrylic paint off. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this cup down. I'm going to stick my piece over it. I have it all covered here with the tape and the saran wrap, so it's got a total covering. And then I'm going to quickly flip it. That was a satisfying flip. Give it a second to run down. And then this is the magic. Pull this up and oh, I can see already the blend on this one. Same paint is doing really interesting things. So again, because this whole piece arcs in toward the center, it's going to want a puddle there. So I have a big turkey baster so I can pull that out. First thing I'm going to do is a big sweep just to kind of get it all over the piece and my hands. That's nice, I like that. And you can already see the cells here coming up, and that is the action of the paint that has the additives that I told you about coming in and not wanting to blend with the paint that doesn't. I'm going to get off as much excess here as I can so that I don't get the nice cells and then have to suck them up with a paint, with the turkey baster. Oh, this is beautiful. So a lot of people talk about, oh, what can I do with the drips? Because sometimes the drips are actually quite beautiful. I don't fret about that, although I do have a bunch of them behind me from my last pour that are quite beautiful. You know, I've heard people make them into jewelry. I've heard about people turning them into other paintings. For me, it's like one more thing that's kind of making me feel guilty. So I love to give them to other people. This is a brulee torch that I just bought on Amazon. You can get one at Bed Bath & Beyond. It costs $10 or $15. Make sure you get the one that has this button where you can turn it on and leave it on. Otherwise, your finger's going to be holding that button down the whole time. And what you're doing is you're basically heating up the paint to allow that oil and that glycerin that's been added to have a little extra push to not blend together with the other paint and give you these nice cells. I love the marbling that's happening on this one. This one's really nice. And some of that is that metallic paint. This actually looks kind of like a geode here, or an agate. And that's really nice. I think that's actually going to go with the spalting of the wood in a beautiful way. Okay, I'm going to try and suck up some of the paint that's gathering in the center here, because when this dries, it is going to pull back a little and get a little smaller, but I'm going to have to cut it away to pull that tape. So I'm going to take a turkey baster and I'm basically going to suck up the excess tape, or the excess paint, and just squirt it onto my paper really gently. It's interesting how using the same colors but starting with a dark one and using less white in between made the story of this piece really so different than the other one. So, you know, sometimes they look like sisters when you're done, and sometimes they really don't talk to each other as much. I think this one's going to be really nice though. This red streak is very powerful. But also keep in mind, I mentioned this before, when it's dry, there's nothing that's keeping you from taking your paintbrush and adding a little more to it to kind of bump up some of your highs and lows. I do that in a delicate way, and I'll definitely show you all how I do that with Gilder's paste. And usually people can't even tell that I did anything, and it just allows me to, with my eye, kind of make it a little more pronounced, a little more chiaroscuro, dark to light. So this is a beautiful area for me here. I love areas that use opposite colors together. This red and green area is particularly nice because it's really nice when you put those colors together and it doesn't say Christmas. It says, I don't know, earthy, agate-y beauty.